So I know I did a review of Excelsior Classes back in 2024, but I wanted to come back and do an updated review because some things have changed, and honestly, there's even more to talk about now than there was before. So if you missed my first video on this, Excelsior Classes is an award-winning, accredited Christian online homeschooling program. They offer live teacher-led classes for grades 5 through 12 taught from a Christian worldview. And I still think it is one of the absolute best options out there for online homeschooling. So let's get into it. So as I talked about before, a lot of homeschooling families want that real teacher element without being locked into a rigid all-day school schedule. And Excelsior Classes really does solve that problem. Your child gets a real teacher, real instruction, and real feedback, but you still have all of the flexibility of homeschooling. Now, before I get into everything, I do want to mention one thing that I think is important to understand about this program. While fully accredited as a school, Excelsior Classes does not currently offer a diploma program. As a homeschooling parent, you are still responsible for keeping your child's records and issuing their diploma. But you do get accredited courses. And at the end of each course, your child's teacher will send a final grade verification that you can keep for your records. And they also offer a cumulative grade summary either for grades 5 through 8 or 9 through 12 that you can request, which is really helpful for your homeschool transcript. The accreditation process Excelsior has gone through should give parents comfort and assurance knowing that the teachers are experienced experts in their fields, and the entire organization has proven processes and educational strength. Now I want to talk about something that I did not cover in my last video. And I think a lot of you are going to be really excited about this. Excelsior Classes is now approved in several states for education savings account funding. So if your state has an ESA program, you may be able to use that money to pay for Excelsior Classes. The states that are currently approved are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, New Hampshire, Utah, and West Virginia. And if your state is not on that list, it is still worth reaching out to them because there may be other programs in your state that qualify. Texas is also worth mentioning specifically because that one is coming for spring 2027 classes. So if you're in Texas, just keep an eye on that. Now, if this does apply to you, then there is something really important that you need to know. You cannot just go through the regular checkout on their website if you are planning to use ESA funding. You have to go to their ESA page first and fill out their ESA initial request form before you do anything else. Every state has different rules and requirements, and Excelsior Classes actually has a dedicated ESA specialist on their team who will walk you through the whole process and make sure everything is handled correctly for your state. And depending on your state, you may pay up front and then get reimbursed, or you may be able to submit invoices directly through your ESA portal. Either way, they will guide you through it. Just make sure that you start on that ESA page before you do anything else. If you go through the regular self-pay checkout by mistake, it can create some complications. So just go to their ESA page, fill out the form, and let their team take it from there. I will leave the link to that page for you in the video description. As far as the learning formats go, their main offering is the live teacher-led classes. These are done through Zoom once a week for 90 minutes for most courses. But I also do want to mention that they have other options if the live class format doesn't work for your family. They do offer some self-paced online courses that have no live sessions. So your child could work through material on their own schedule. They also have some independent study courses. Here, a teacher is still assigning and grading the work, but your child just doesn't attend the weekly live classes. So there are a few different ways to participate depending on what works best for you. And of course, they also still offer dual credit through LeTourneau University, which is one of the most unique things about this program. And all of the live classes are recorded, so if your child has to miss a session, they can still catch up. Something else that I did not cover in my first review that I want to mention now is that Excelsior Classes is NCAA approved. So if you have a student athlete who is hoping to play college sports, this is a really important thing to know. The courses here can count towards NCAA eligibility requirements, which is something that you cannot take for granted in a homeschooling program. Excelsior Classes will send grades directly to the NCAA, so parents don't need to worry. Now let's take a look at the course catalog together because they really have so many options. One of the things I love most about Excelsior Classes is that the courses are all sold individually, so you can use this program however makes sense for your family. A lot of families just pick maybe one or two classes where they need some extra support, such as a math or a writing class, and then continue to teach everything else at home. And this is a totally great way to use this program. But you could also build a full schedule here if you want to. They have enough variety across enough subjects that you could genuinely put together a complete schedule for your child just from the Excelsior Classes catalog. So now let me show you what they have. They have English courses for every high school grade level, including English 1, English 2, English 3, and English 4, and several middle school language arts options as well. For math, they have everything from Math Bridge for 6th grade all the way up through pre-calculus, including fundamentals of math, pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, and geometry. In science, they have life science, earth science, biology, chemistry, physics, human anatomy and physiology, environmental science, and even aviation science, which I thought was really cool and unique. For history and geography, they have world history, U.S. history, world geography, foundations of world history, medieval history, AP European history, AP U.S. history, and more. They also have Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 for foreign language, government and economics courses, Bible and Christian life courses, art classes, psychology, and some really interesting electives like film as literature, financial literacy, and a senior seminar on life skills and tools for college and careers. So as you can see, there is really a lot here to choose from. And just a reminder, all of these class times are listed in Eastern time. So if you are not on the East Coast, you will want to do the math to figure out what time that is for you. Now, when you are browsing the catalog, you will notice that some courses say almost full right in the title. For example, biology is already listed as almost full, and so are English 1 and English 3 and Spanish 2. So if you are thinking about signing your child up for any of those, you really do not want to wait. And this is just where things stand right now, so by the time you are watching this video, some of those may already be completely full. If a class does fill up, you can still get on a wait list, but obviously it is much better to just get in while there is still space. And speaking of not waiting, fall classes start on August 17th this year. So that is coming up, and registration does close at the end of the first week of classes on August 21st. But keep in mind, it could close even earlier than that if classes fill up. So really, the sooner you get signed up, the better. When you click on an individual course, you can read a full course description, see what grade level it is recommended for, and find out if the course is a college prep course or an honors level course. You can also see the prerequisites right on the page, which is really helpful, especially for things like math where you need to make sure your child is in the right level before you sign them up. You can look at the instructor bio so you know exactly who will be teaching the class. And then there is a full list of required materials, so you know ahead of time what you will need to get before the course starts. Just keep in mind that those materials are not included in the tuition, so you will need to purchase them separately. But they do a really thorough job of laying all that out for you, so there are no surprises. They also have a really helpful course planning tool on their website, and you can even download a full class list for the school year as well as the calendar view version, which is really nice for planning out your schedule and making sure classes on different days do not conflict with each other. Now let's talk about pricing. Courses are sold individually, so you can pick what works best for your family, whether that's one course or a full schedule. For most full year courses, Tuition is now in the range of $620 to $675. One semester courses are in the $298 to $350 range. Math and more intensive courses like AP courses, which meet twice a week, run $720 to $825. And independent study courses are about $325 to $350 per semester. There is also a $60 annual family registration fee, which covers your access to the learning management system and administrative support for the year. And if you are an active duty military family or an overseas missionary, there are discount codes available, so make sure you reach out to them about that. As for payment, you can either pay in full or enroll in a monthly payment plan. You can find all the details on their How to Register page. Deposits are non-refundable, but you can transfer a course to another student in your family through the end of the first week of classes if you need to make any changes. Now let's talk about the community side of things, because I really love this about Excelsior Classes. I think it's one of the things that sets them apart from a lot of other online homeschooling programs. They have community clubs that any student can join, and you do not even have to be enrolled in a live class to participate. Right now they have a writing club, a newspaper club called The Beacon, and a podcasting club. It's a really great way for kids to feel connected and be part of a community. This is something that can be hard to find with online homeschooling. And on top of the community clubs, they also have subject area clubs and honor societies. They have an English club and honor society called Epsilon Kappa Epsilon, and a Spanish club and honor society called Epsilon Kappa Iota. These are open to high school students who are taking the qualifying courses, and students can work toward actual honor society induction by attending meetings, participating in events, and earning points throughout the year. If a student meets all the requirements, they get inducted and receive a certificate and honor society cords. So if you have a high school student who is motivated and wants that kind of recognition on their transcript, this could be a great opportunity. And I also just want to mention that Excelsior Classes has been recognized by Verywell Family as the #1 online teacher-led Christian program. So this is not just my opinion. The teachers here are not tutors or teaching assistants. They are qualified, experienced educators who are practicing Christians and who are really passionate about what they do. Excelsior Classes has also won several iLearn awards from Practical Homeschool magazine. Those awards are voted on by parents themselves. So whether you were looking for just 1 or 2 classes or you want to put together a full schedule, I really do think Excelsior Classes is one of the best options out there for Christian homeschooling families. There really is not much else like it. I encourage you to go check out their website and browse their course catalog. And if you are in one of those ESA states, make sure to go to the ESA page first before you register. Fall classes start August 17th and classes are already filling up, so don't wait too long. And as always, if you have any questions, just leave them for me in the comments and I will be happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching.